welcome to another episode of What's Next with Danny Coleman
and Maryann Castello.
We're standing up tonight.
Yes, we are.
And we're standing up because not only do we want to try something different, because we never know what's next, but we have an answer to the T-shirt challenge.
Yes, we do.
You ready?
Yes, we are. Ready?
There it is.
Ta-da!
Rich Shalanda's Flying Dreams has sponsored the T-shirt challenge this week here on What's Next with Danny Coleman. They are one of our sponsors this evening.
Yes, they are.
As well as Neo Zoe of Cranford, New Jersey. March Massage Madness is coming to an end soon.
Yes, it is. Very fast. So if you want to cut your massage, be sure to contact us at 732-713-0123 or follow us on the web at www.neozoe.com. And you can save $10 off of every advertised massage.
There you go. $10.
$10. That's big.
What could I do with $10?
I know what you could do for $10. Yes, there is a show from our sponsor in New York City on Saturday, March 31st.
At the Cutting Room.
That's great. That's a great room, by the way.
Flying Dreams with
Dark Beauty.
Dark Beauty. Right,
yes.
Correct.
And tickets can be purchased in advance by going to www.cuttingroomnewyorkcity.com.
And unfortunately, our music director and international touring advisor, Rich Shalanda, is not with us this evening.
No.
As he's under the weather. But
we thought we'd give a little sunshine.
That's right. There it is.
There it
Flying
is.
Dreams. Check them out on the web at Flying Dreams. Is it Flying Dreams or Rich Shalanda's Flying
Rich Shalanda, Flying Dreams.
RYCHECHLANDA.com.
Rich Shalanda, Flying Dreams.
FlyingDreams.com. I can't, Rich has only got like 2 vowels in his name, and one of them is repeated.
Exactly. Many times.
But who else? Oh, Monmouth Music of Red Bank, New Jersey, 30 Monmouth Street. Go ahead.
Well, that's serving all of Monmouth, right?
Monmouth County, Red Bank.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And Kevin Siri.
Of Long Branch Cable. We want to say hello to everybody viewing us this evening, and or during the day, whenever the show is on Long Branch Cable. We want to thank Kevin for that, making that happen.
Thank you.
Who else?
I don't know. What's next?
I think that's it. We don't know what's next. That's our sponsors. Tonight we have a interesting show.
Very interesting.
Interesting show. We actually have 2 musicians on this evening. We have Mike Brody.
Yes.
And we have Mike Daly and the Planets.
Yes, we do.
Will be on tonight. 2 musicians who are part of the Makin' Waves 30th anniversary concert. Bob Makin, the writer, has been doing his column Makin' Waves for 30 years. And he's having a big show at the Wonder Bar in Asbury Park, March 31st from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Great.
And these 2 artists tonight will be part of that bill. So stick around. You'll see them.
Yes.
You'll see us.
Always.
And you'll see what's next. Come on back.
Are you constantly living with dysfunction in your life? If so, there's help. Neo Zoe, New Life Through Balanced Living, is a very unique holistic wellness company that's here to help you preserve a healthy balance and eliminate any dysfunction. We use an individual approach through nutrition, massage, and various other holistic practices. You can restore your optimal health and a healthy lifestyle. Visit us on the web at neozoe.com or call us at 732-713-0123.
All right, welcome back to What's Next. I am sitting here with Mike Daly and the Planets. We have John, we have Jim, and Mike Daly himself here on What's Next. Whoa, that's right. Give me a hand. It is a pleasure to finally get to meet you guys.
It's great to be here.
We were talking a little bit before we came on the air. Home base of operation is Hawthorne, New Jersey.
That's right.
So you traveled a little way to get here this evening. We appreciate that. We appreciate that, Mike. But you're actually here because our mutual buddy, Bob Makin, I sent you here on a mission.
That's correct.
Because he's having his 30th anniversary of the Making Waves column that he has written. And how'd you meet Bob?
Well, John and I both worked at what was then the East Coast Rocker, which before and after was known as the Aquarian Weekly, currently still known as the Aquarian
The
Weekly.
Aquarian Weekly, right?
And Bob's column started 30 years ago when John and I were both working there. So that's how long we've known Bob. We've known Bob as long as the Making the Waves column has.
So you've been there from the start,
Absolutely.
essentially. What'd you do with the Aquarian?
I was a writer, and
Okay.
later a managing editor
Okay.
in the late '80s, early '90s.
Yeah,
when I worked.
Same with you?
we all held a big chair at one point or another. It was kind of like a revolving door thing. But yeah, no, we were all writers and editors at the time, and Bob eventually, he was freelancing in the beginning when he did the Making Waves column.
Okay.
Jay Lustig, who worked for years at
Right.
the Star Ledger and now has njarts.com
Right.
or njarts.net.
.net.
Was a co-managing editor with me, and Bob took over the Jersey column at some point after Jay went to the Star Ledger, the Jersey coverage, and he was there full time. And Making Waves was like the shore segment of his Jersey music coverage.
Okay. Right. So how do you two fellows know Bob as well? The Jim brothers in the middle there?
Just through these guys. Just through these guys.
Just through these guys? All right, so how did the band come together? How long have you guys been together?
Well, we've been together. We made our live debut in 2011, I believe. 2010, 2011. We played at one of Pat Denisio's barbecues at his backyard in Scotch Plains. It was our
Nice.
first live gig that we ever played in. Before that, John, Jim, and I were in a band called Every Damn Day that Bob actually worked with us, did some booking for us, and we put out a CD that has a circle of Bob's head all around the disc. So Bob actually came up with the title of our first CD as Every Damn Day, which was Jettison the Pod Sparky. It was his weird way of explaining that some A&R guy should get off the dime and sign us. But the three of us were in Every Damn Day, and then Jim 2 over here, the drummer, has been in a lot of. He's actually Smitty. We call him Smitty to differentiate. Smitty and I have played together, and Jim also in other bands. So it's this kind of a combination of several bands that we've worked in, and we've been around since 2011. We put out an EP that year, and finally put out a few singles over the course of the next several years, and finally put out an album last year, self-titled. Daly The Planets came out in November, and Bob, of course, made it his record of the week. So that was a nice bonus, and that's how we kind of got reacquainted with Bob. Bob's been doing all different kinds of coverage for the papers that he works for.
Right.
So and sometimes was not doing music coverage. There was a period of time there where he was a fitness guru and he was some other things.
I'm laughing because I got my start as a writer because the guy who wrote the music column for the Trentonian newspaper quit for whatever reason. And I was friendly with a couple people there. I said, let me have a crack at it. So I started. That's how I got my start in the writing field, so to speak, And then, I met Bob. Now Bob and I both write for New Jersey Stage and New Jersey Arts, and it's just so funny how, and you've been with them for 30 years or whatever. How long's the band been together?
This band has been together since 2011. So
Okay.
it's about 7 years.
So 7 years, but it's just so funny, and I often talk about it, is how music, it's like, the world is huge, but music makes it about this big because it just all seems to revolve around, kind of like an old vinyl 33, it just keeps revolving around till the needle hits the end, and boom, oh, I know him, and it just goes.
Well, you meet a lot of people over 30 years, that's for sure. And, one thing I will say is that I don't think any of us imagined that 30 years after we first met at the Aquarian Weekly that we'd all be doing what we're doing now. Still playing in bands, Bob's still writing, Jay's still writing. But you meet all different kinds of people during the course of things. Bob introduces us to people, we introduce him to people. It's been that way on and off for the better part of the whole 30 years that we've known each other. So Bob actually got us involved in Pat Denizio tribute that took place at the Court Tavern to raise some money for Pat's expenses, final expenses.
Right.
And he's got us involved in this. He offered us a slot in this, which is great.
Glad you think so now.
This, we're good friends. I was actually best man at Bob's first wedding, so we've had a long relationship. We've got some interesting stories to tell, and
Should be fun.
going to be making some new ones.
Well, what's your time slot at the 30th anniversary concert? Is at the Wonder Bar next Saturday, March 31st.
I think we're on at 4:00.
Okay. Oh, all right. And it goes from 2
2
p.m. to 2 a.m. at the Wonder Bar in Asbury Park on Ocean Avenue, diagonal from Paramount Theater and Convention Hall, and across from McClune Supper Club. So get your tickets now. How can they get your tickets?
I think Ticketmaster is.
Is that who's handling it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there are links on the Making Waves 30th anniversary page on Facebook.
On Facebook, yeah.
And on the Wonder Bar homepage too, I believe there's some ticket links.
Can find it all.
Yeah.
Okay. So now about you guys. How many CDs do you have? How many discs?
Well, we have an
have you
EP
put out?
and we have our full-length album, which we put out in November of last year, and in between there was a bunch of digital-only releases that were just
Okay.
singles.
Now, what made you go those routes?
Finances. A lot of it is finances. Back when we were in our other band, Every Damn Day, you wanted to put out a CD, you had to buy 1,000 minimum.
Yeah.
And what you wind up with is a lot of boxes of CDs in your basement.
You wind up with 800 left, yeah.
And the initial investment is not insubstantial. Since that all happened, everything moving into the digital age the way it is, and we use a distributor called DistroKid, which distributes all your digital music to iTunes and Spotify and Amazon and all those places. You don't actually have to have a physical product. The only stumbling block there is that you have, we're kind of a generation that is not 110% sold on digital downloads, still want to hold something tangible in their hands.
Well, yeah, but what's funny? I have spoken with multiple times. There's a place in South Jersey in Berlin called The Vault. And it's called The Vault because it holds the entire remaining RCA Victor catalog. And they turned it into an 80-seat performance venue / museum, where it's got, they had the original machines that pressed the first, vinyl record and so on. And it's a really neat place. But the kids that bought the catalog, and I say kids because they're only in their early 30s, late 20s, early 30s, they purchased the catalog because they didn't want to see it just go under when they tear down the building. I mean, the very first vinyl record was pressed in Camden, right on the waterfront near where is what the BBT Center down there. And the guy said to me, he says, I'm so glad vinyl's coming back. Jury's still out on that for me, personally, but so glad the vinyl is coming back because he said, to compare it for you, if this was a book, it would be the hard copy.
Right.
And there's a lot to be said in that, because, especially in today's day and age, if you want to read, you can read on a Kindle, you can read online, you can buy, audio books, you can
Smartphones.
paperbacks, whatever.
Yeah.
In music, you're still pretty much stuck with two forms now: CD and digital download. And now that vinyl's coming back, vinyl. But
I can tell you, in the mid '90s, we had a following of high school kids that we developed, and around a certain point in our history, we put out a red vinyl single.
Okay.
Just to do it because it was kind of like a hip thing to do at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember a high school fan of ours picking it up and looking at it and saying, "How does it work?" So, this was as far back as the mid '90s. This kid had never seen vinyl. It was either cassettes or then CDs. So, that's how far back you can go, to the point where all of a sudden the physical product is maybe not as important, and it started to gradually dissipate in terms of their so-called need for a digital
Right.
product. But it also coincided with the rampant stealing of digital music, to the point where people don't want to pay for digital music anymore.
Right.
They want to try and either listen to it on Spotify, or they want to.
Or the streaming is now
Yeah.
is where it's at.
Right.
Okay. So we'll start from the end. John, lead guitarist, okay, in the band.
Yes.
What's it like working together since you guys have known each other for so long?
It's very easy. You know, it's just very easy. It's always a good time to, rehearsing is always fun, and it's like we just read each other.
Did you ever get to that point? I mean, now that obviously, in case you haven't noticed at home, we're all a little bit on the other side of 20. When you're younger,
I'm the youngest one in the band, by the way.
I know you're looking to.
Show off.
And it was 30 years together, and they've never had a fight.
See?
Oh, no, we fought. We've had some fights.
Well, and,
But it's still, but then you make up. It's just, it's easy, still, it's a cycle, it's easy.
Right.
It's predictable.
now though, those fights are just like, I don't care, do what you want. I notice if I could have had this demeanor as a musician when I was younger,
Right.
I think things might be different in some sort of way. And I'm very agreeable and always agreeable, but there are just some things you sit back and you sit back and you sit back and you can only accommodate so much. At some point you want to be heard, But now at this age, I don't care if I'm heard or not. When do we get paid? Oh wait, this original music. Sorry, I lost my mind there. There is no pay.
That's true.
But maturity helps. Maturity definitely helps with collaborating and playing. We play better. I think we play better. We've been playing for longer. So
Well,
it better be better.
let me ask the expert in that field, Jimmy the drummer, Smitty.
Yes.
Do you play better?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm
Just
playing.
you.
I'm playing with my brothers right here.
Okay,
These guys
that's
are like my brothers.
Hey, now how long have you been playing the drums?
Oh my God. Probably got 45 years.
Okay. See?
So he's on the other side of 20, like you were saying.
Well, I'm far on the other side of 20. Yes.
I had a guest come on my show one time. He said, I've only been playing for 5 years. I said, oh yeah? I'm looking at the guy and he's an older gentleman. I said, oh yeah? And he looked at me and said, yeah, dog years. Ah, yes, you're right.
Feels like that sometimes.
Right? 5 times. Right? So, all right, Jimmy, go ahead. Jimmy won, as opposed to Smitty. Bass player? How long have you been playing with these guys?
Well, actually, Mike and I have known each other since we were teenagers.
Okay.
So that's going even further back. So we were playing in bands here and there
The thing with two
for a
heads.
while. We did a
There's a duo called The Thing With Two
we did
Hands.
a duo for a
Nice.
brief period of time. And when we first started playing together, I was playing keyboards, and then started playing bass. And then started playing with this guy, again, years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then here we are now.
Yeah.
Back here.
Still playing.
Jim was 3 years younger than we were in high school, and we would go and play in bars, and we would be legal, and he wouldn't. We'd have to sneak him in to play. And we actually played a place once where some hostile crowd. Let's card the keyboard player. Why don't we card the keyboard player? See if he's supposed to be here or not. But yeah, we used to kind of just like. Just hide behind us.
Hide behind my Hammond.
Don't order anything from him.
That's why you brought that Hammond.
Yeah.
That's it?
Okay.
Yeah.
You struggle with the B3 so you can hide behind
With the Wesley, everything. Huh?
with the big horn. Yeah, you gotta love that.
So we go back 40 years or more, actually, in playing in bands. Jimmy
So-
and
You never know, Bill.
I. No.
Well, if you guys as a group, if you had to compare Mike Daly and the Planets, is it Daly or Daly?
Daly.
Daly, right? Okay. I just didn't want to make sure I mispronounced it.
That's fine.
If you had to compare Mike Daly and the Planets to a certain type of music, what genre would you say you guys fit in best?
We're a loud pop band.
Okay.
And most of the bands that we've been in together have been loud pop bands. Some people like to say power pop, but we don't really fit necessarily as much as we maybe used to, the whole Beatle jangle kind of thing, which we do still have, but it's it's more varied than what it was in previous bands that we've been in. We're got more of a classic rock thing going, and we're a loud pop band. That's the way I've pretty much always described us.
Country has been making its way in.
Yeah, country
To
sneaking
Mike's
in a little
writing
bit.
in recent years.
Country
Mike's
sneak-
warming to the country sound.
You the principal songwriter?
I am. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, are you a dictator or is it a democracy?
I'm not really a dictator. The only time I'm a dictator, no, I will say the only time I'm a dictator is if I hear the whole song in my head before we get together and perform it and rehearse it for the first time, the first couple times, and I say no, that's not what I hear in my head, you know, because I do a lot of times hear the whole thing, what it's supposed to sound like in my head before when I'm putting it to paper, I can hear it in my head. So that's the only time I really kind of like, I'm kind of stubborn about things. But these guys are all, I've played with them for a long time. We know each other very well. We all bring good ideas to the table. We play off of each other very well. It's one of the luxuries of having played together for as long as we have, is that we really kind of know what to expect of each other when we're putting something together. And suggestions, almost all the suggestions are good suggestions, and they wind up making their way into the final product.
Okay. Now, websites for you guys, or?
MikeDaly.com, MikeDaly.com is our main website, and we're on Facebook as Mike Daly and Planets, Twitter and Instagram at Daly Planets. We're on Bandcamp, we're on Spotify, we're on Amazon, we're on iTunes, we're all over the place.
Fantastic. Now, one last thing before these guys, we wrap it up with them. When I was a young musician in high school and just out of high school, first thing I did was, I think, was it monthly or was it weekly then? The East Coast Rocker.
It was weekly.
Okay. The Aquarian?
Weekly.
Oh, there was
Always weekly, right?
Always weekly.
Village Voice, I think, was that bi-weekly or monthly?
It might have been every other week.
Yeah, either way, the first thing when I knew you guys were at was walk 2 blocks down to the convenience store. All right, I need that. And I used to scan the musicians wanted crazy in some of these magazines, and I used to love to read you those guys or you guys back then, but you weren't involved then, right? Because you were in there 30 years.
No, not at the very beginning, no.
Okay, but and it's I was, when it became the East Coast Rocker and then went back to the Aquarian, I wondered why it changed names in the first place, and then went back, but.
I think the Aquarian mindset was seen as sort of a hippie mindset.
Okay.
And when the paper started, it was 1969.
Ah.
So it definitely had more of a hippie vibe to it then. And I think if someone came up with the notion that it would be more marketable at a certain point as the East Coast Rocker. When it went back to being the Aquarian, John and I were actually there, and so was Bob. They wanted to get back to not just a pop culture slant, but also social issues and things like that. News about what was going on that kind of fit our audience, but social awareness.
Right.
We did stories about student protests and different things like that. Stuff that were off the path of just rock journalism. We had some actual regular everyday journalism in there. So that's why it changed back. I think the East Coast Rocker, call it the East Coast Rocker, kind of hemmed it in a little bit in terms of what you would expect from the coverage.
Right.
Narrowed it too much. Past a certain point, we had to fight our way out of those constraints and create a different attitude for the paper, which has continued to now.
Great. All right. Well, thank you guys for making the trip. And anything you want to say to Bob Macon, in case he watches this?
Brutal Waves, dude.
There you go. All right. 30th anniversary, Making Waves, March 31st, the Wonder Bar in Asbury Park, 2 to 2. These guys go on around 4 o'clock. Get your tickets by going either to the Wonder Bar website or the Making Waves page on Facebook or any of those other things. Thank you, fellas.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Thank you.
They're going to do a tune for us, actually, when we come back from commercial. Mike Daly and the Planets, you're going to do a song called?
Salvation.
Salvation. We'll be back. That's what's next.
In a world where seldom do we get to choose, And even when you win, you lose. I thank God for you in a world where no one stands for what they say. Fear and anger rule the day. I thank God for you. You're my salvation. You're the one who cured me of my stagnation and changed my point of view. You're my foundation. I believe in something pure and true. I thank God for you. In a world where bullies plot their evil schemes, protected by computer screens, I thank God for you. In a world where kids live under microscopes and many feel they've got no hope, I thank God for you. You're my salvation. You're the one who cured me of my stagnation and changed my point of view. You're my foundation. I believe in something pure and true. I thank God for you. In a world where corporations kill the sea and threaten all humanity, I thank God for you. In a world where love is strong but so is hate, and at times it's hard to keep the faith, I thank God for you. I thank God for you.
Since 1987, Monmouth Music has served the local music community of Red Bank from their location at 30 Monmouth Street in the center of historic downtown Red Bank, New Jersey. Owner-operated, Monmouth Music provides lessons of all levels, beginner through professional, as well as brand name instruments and a repair service. For all of your musical needs, go to Monmouth Music. That's Monmouth Music, 30 Monmouth Street, Red Bank, New Jersey. All right, welcome back to What's Next, the Making Waves edition, because now we have yet another act that is going to be performing at the 30th anniversary of the Making Waves concert series, and Bob Makin's Making Waves column, actually. 30th anniversary, March 31st at the Wonder Bar in Asbury Park, New Jersey. We have Mike Brody! Yo! And Mike, who have you brought along with you?
Robert Livingston Patterson.
The third?
No,
The fourth?
is it the fourth?
That's one of them names. See?
There's 4 more.
There's
No, 3 more.
You come to us this evening from Tom's River,
Yes.
and that's where you've...
That's where I set up shop. I had a flooring business for 25 years there, and it was just about the end of the line for that. And luckily, I thought of starting a guitar shop because I had an empty room, and it took off immediately. So I sold the flooring business last week, and now I'm strictly a guitar shop owner and musician again.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Well, now, what is it that you do in this guitar shop? Repairs, sales, both?
know,
what do you do?
It's
Customizing?
becoming things. It started as just buying and selling old guitars, restoring them a little, a hobby of mine. Then I started modifying some cheaper ones, and people wanted those who came in. And I just do things to them, like I'll just take old guitars and put different type pickups. I know how to make tones. I'm learning like what makes a certain guitar sound a certain way. And they look steampunk at the end, but not on purpose. I just don't have really good engineering tools. So I have to like bend metal, by hand or using something. So if everything has sort of rough edges and people like it, it's becoming a thing. So
Okay, so what's the name of the shop?
Secret Guitars.
Secret Guitars. Okay. Do
Which
you have
is-
a website or anything?
Yeah, we have a Facebook page and a website.
Okay,
yeah.
which is?
secretguitars.com or Secret Guitars Facebook.
Okay.
We have the best phone number too, 244-1111.
There you go.
I don't know how I got that. It used to be the court, so I get calls from the court and I prank everyone who calls. I know that's not right.
Well, all right, how? You
I have
set
to,
it up.
yes.
Yeah, we got to know
I
how.
don't know.
I don't know, someone will be like, is this the courthouse? I'm like, yes, and you're late, and they'll freak out. And I don't do it anymore because somebody freaked out really bad. Whatever they would call the court for, I'll say I'm that guy. I don't do it anymore. But it's weird because it was the court. Anyway, and then here's the real strange thing about it. It's becoming a school, and I never intended to give lessons for like kids in trouble.
Oh.
Like somebody noticed me, I guess, and thought I'd be good for reaching out to these like 14 and 15-year-old punks who are in trouble, like I used to be. And now I have like 20 of them. And so I'm giving these lessons and I don't even know how to do it. And like a lot of them have ADD or they have other problems. But I'm noticing all of them are smart, can talk on high levels about stuff, and they're just, they're not into school, I think. Right. But they're into my stuff because I don't worry about the key of A with them. I just work on time because everybody understands that. And so I made them listen to their hearts with a stethoscope at first because I happen to have one. And then I was like, all right, play your heartbeat. And I just started a whole thing and it worked. And these kids sound great. So we're like original music lessons, not covers.
Very cool.
And once they show interest, I start showing them music theory and stuff. But I think if I showed it to them first, it would be a disaster because they wouldn't like it.
No, because I took a couple music theory classes in high school to fill up my schedule. I mean, I'm a musician myself. I'm a drummer.
I know. I heard you play.
And
you're good.
You have? Oh.
I don't know where, just on YouTube somewhere. And
Ah!
I thought you were good.
Well, thank you.
Everybody's heard everyone by now.
Yeah, pretty much, right? But, I took it and I wound up having to learn how to play piano so I could play the piece that I had to write. But when they first started throwing that at me, I'm like, wait, this isn't drum sheet music. What is it,
Really? You got hit when you took lessons? Did they show you like stuff before they showed you how to just play?
Believe it or not, my very first drum teacher worked semi-backwards. And what I mean by that was, he gave me a book, a music staff book, and he wrote in there, various notes, right? And he showed me what, a 5-stroke roll looked like, a 7-stroke roll, paradiddles, all the things that drummers do. And But he made me probably for the first month of going once a week. I would just sit there, and I'll never forget this. Right, left,
Yeah,
left,
patterns.
right.
But he didn't get you doing a groove beat yet.
No, but what he did was, a month into it, he said he gave me a list of 45 RPM records. He wanted me to go to this record shop that's no longer in existence
Where
on
was
South
it?
Broad Street in Trenton. It was called Broadway Records.
I remember that.
It was on the corner of Broad and Cass, and you went in there and he said, I want you to buy these records and I want you to listen to them. And he showed me a basic, rock beat.
How old were you?
I was 11.
What music were you listening to?
At that time, whatever was on the Philadelphia AM radio station, WFIL.
What year was it?
God.
72?
Long time ago.
Yeah, about that, 73,
That was on John
74.
McClain.
Right?
A long time ago.
That was the one.
That was on every minute.
Yeah, but remember?
I grew up
11:45, it
with-
was both sides, A and
Funny
B. You
how
had to
we all
flip it
grew up
over.
the same- How old are you?
Me? Oh, I'm old.
56?
Yep.
That's how old I
Close.
am.
Close.
I'm 56, so my first rock
I'm
music,
55.
the first hair-raising rock music I ever heard, my Beatles, was All the Young Dudes by Martha Hooper.
Oh,
Live.
really?
On NEW. Even though I had heard distorted guitar, that's all I chased was distorted guitars. I looked for that sound.
WNEW. Whose show? Scott Muni.
Nightbird. Allison Steele.
Allison Steele. Ah,
And she
geez.
played All the Young Dudes live from the Live on Broadway album, and my hair stood up for the first time.
Wow.
From music stood right up.
See, now for me, and we just had this discussion on Rock on Radio, I started playing the drums when I was 11.
What grade is that?
When I
Six?
was 12, like fifth or sixth,
Yeah,
fifth
me
grade.
too.
When I was 12, my cousin, who was several years older than me, gave me Led Zeppelin 4.
Yeah, I
It changed my life forever.
that one changed my life.
Changed
I was
my life
scared of
forever.
that album a little.
Were you?
It seemed eerie and not attainable to me. Like I always want that connection that I understood more. But I liked that album, but I didn't love it. It was too eerie. You know what I mean? But now I like eerie.
I heard the drums A in Black Dog, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking
Well, I heard that before.
rock and roll, and then
That was on our
When the
AM
Levee
station.
Breaks, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's the song that
Yeah.
I still love.
Right.
But that was one of my like I used to sit there with my recorder and wait for cool songs and it'd go on WABC.
Those of you watching this, maybe or our age bracket, remember that, yeah,
Because
right?
I didn't want a mixtape. I wanted a mixtape. Of
And then the DJ would talk over it and make, at the very beginning or the end, and
And
you're like,
I
no!
remember what songs were on it in what order. And I don't know why I kept it on, but In the Jungle, The Mighty Jungle was on it.
The
Remember
Tokens.
Yes.
Yeah, I met
The
the
Lion
producer.
Sleeps Tonight.
Yeah.
Oh,
He lives,
yeah.
he lives near me. And
Right?
I need something to drink. I have cottonmouth. Hey, is this a language barrier show too? Are
Yeah,
you
we
allowed
all.
to curse?
Yes, no. Because actually, I know, say hello to them again, Long Branch Cable, Channel 20 actually carries
Because I
this
just
as
have
well.
a joke, but I was going to incorporate it, but I'm not going to say it. Because I
Well-
have cottonmouth and cotton balls. It's a joke I made up.
Ah,
But the thing is, Black Dog was on that mixtape from ABC. Meow, meow, da-da-da-da-da, and it was like,
WABC,
what?
yeah.
How could this exist, right? Then T-Rex Bang a Gong was on it. And you wouldn't expect that on ABC, you know?
so are these your musical influences?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, well, they were until the psychedelic years, and then everything changed for the worse. Because pop music was great, like, you know, I loved it. I liked glam rock, Bowie, and all that.
Okay.
You know, I like distorted stuff, but I like elegant English distorted stuff. Like, my favorite bands were like, I don't know, I liked Alice Cooper for some reason. I liked freaky music. Then, I guess like sophomore year of high school, I don't know why, but the psychedelic, in our school at least, plant life came into it, you know, and we experimented a lot. I was a scientist of it. And that ruined me because I went to see the Grateful Dead at Englishtown.
Oh.
And plant life. And those two combinations with, 400,000 other people having the same moment. And that's when I became like, oh, everything I like sucks and now this only matters. Which lasted till like 2 years ago. You know, I couldn't get rid of it because I kept thinking there's nowhere higher than this. But you would have had to been there to know, but it was like a UFO landing. It was profound. But Not in ways you can explain or hear on the tape. You
Wow.
can hear it on the live tape, but you can't hear it on their album.
Okay.
At least you can't hear it. But stuff happened, like in the overtones, voices, not hallucinations, but specific things. Really weird. It was adult. It was like world music. That's what it was. Because those people had listened to other music besides rock.
Well, how do you classify your music?
I don't classify it, but he probably could.
Well, who else is in the band besides Bob
It's
or
just
Rob?
me and Robert and my son Eric, and all three of us are songwriters.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't classify our music because we never tried to, you know?
It's in the. He doesn't understand blues.
Yeah.
My son's listening to more jazz than rock,
Yeah, like-
and I came from blues rock and got out of it. I think we're stoner rock, but we're not really.
Stoner.
You ever hear that yet?
No, I haven't heard that genre
So
yet.
We're a little psychedelic, I guess you could
Oh, yeah?
say, yeah.
No, wait,
But
let's
he's
go
a
back.
religious guy. He's not psychedelic.
Let's go back to Robert
But he
Livingston
kind of-
Patterson IV.
Can I get a drink while you talk to him for a sec?
I can't. No, we're on camera. You
Well,
can't
you
just
can
get up and
talk
walk
to
away. we're gonna be done in about 5 minutes, so you'll be good.
All right.
You all right? You sure?
It's not alcohol.
You wanna
or
make
anything,
it?
I
Oh, if
just-
it was alcohol, I'd
but
have
I'm
it right
starting
there.
to hear like. I have a drink. I
So
brought it.
why don't you get the blues?
He gets them. He doesn't.
Oh, you don't like them?
Oh, no, I mean, I don't particularly learn from the blues. I learn from, like, heavy metal and hard rock.
Did you?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite heavy metal band?
Oh, it always was, like, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath,
Yeah, but that's-
Deep Purple, you
Yeah,
know,
but that's
bands
just
like
blues music played at a different pace.
But that his music isn't. The stuff he writes
Well, yeah,
doesn't have
the
1,
stuff
4,
I write
5.
is
Well,
just kind of like
It has
you know,
one.
Okay.
Yeah, like something you
Seven.
hear in the 80s and 90s or something like that, like influenced by that.
Like the
genre.
Judas Priest type metal and
He's
I
original.
mean, a little bit, yeah. I
Motley
mean,
Crue.
I don't think so.
yeah, I
no.
mean, you know, like 80s,
His
Slayer.
stuff sounds not like that
70s,
stuff.
80s.
It sounds like, I can't think of a band to relate to, Cream, but not with all the improv like that. He doesn't think he gets the blues, but he does. But your music sounds more like what I would consider Pink Floyd, but heavier sounding. It's more weird. It's not like Slayer, which is like
He's
those
like-
What kind of-
spandex and
I
stuff.
don't have vocals to my music. It's just kind of
It's you got to listen to this
you know,
new
it's like
stoner metal stuff.
instrumental. I got it right here on the phone.
Stoner metal is droning on. It's psychedelic. It sounds like Blue Cheer and all those old
Oh, those type of.
heavy bands.
Yeah.
But it's modern, so they're not afraid to stay repetitive longer. And it'll start like an industrial drum beat, and they don't vary for long amounts of time. Like blues feels the need to change to the 4-chord to resolve itself. This music doesn't feel the need to do that. It'll just, I've discovered it by accident.
Yeah,
I
a lot of droning, you know, like
I was gonna say, drones on.
trance
Yeah.
music. I don't know what to call it. But if it's on, things feel like cool. It's like, whoa. It's like The Cure if they used all distorted instruments.
Oh wow.
It's very distorted, you know, the guitar's
I
very
like The
distorted.
Cure. I don't know why I use that name, but they remind
Even
me.
the bass has, yeah.
Okay, so how did you come in contact with Bob Minkin?
Bob used to be a champion of mine when I first started.
Okay.
Like he heard us one time. My first band of consequence. It's a pretty good name, Band of Consequence. My first band that mattered that did originals was called Nobody's Business in 1984 or 3. And we were playing like the podium opening for Robin Trower and everyone. Robin Trower is considered an originator of stoner metal, by the way. You know, Bridge of Sighs, all that. It's real slow. I don't think it really particularly means drugs either. It usually does, but he doesn't take drugs.
Okay.
Except for tonight when he laced my
No, I
my
didn't.
drink.
We play parties a lot. And I also play with the guys from Hot Tuna and the New Riders right now. So there's a lot of psychedelic people around us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, who you playing with? You're not playing.
And I play with Bob Steelers, my
Oh,
drummer.
okay.
my
Oh,
other
Bobby's.
band.
Yeah, he's involved with the. He's an artist, a really
Great
good
artist.
He had a. What do they call them, Mayor? When you have an art show?
A showing, a
A
gallery,
reviewing.
exhibit.
An exhibit. There you go. Thank you very much.
His
At,
art is like amazing.
At the place in Belmar. What's it?
Yeah, through
on River
Chris
Road.
Krebs, because
Yeah.
Chris is involved with him.
Right.
They discovered me through other channels because I recorded Skylab Studios a lot with Danny Sky.
Okay.
And Dan, I'm going to use this term twice, championed me, and he asked me to come in and play lead for Falzerato and handed me a CD. And I have to admit, I'm jaded and lazy, very jaded. I just am. I like to watch TV and stuff. I didn't listen to the CD right away because I figured it's blues. They'll figure it out, right? And 2 days before the audition, I listened to it. Oh man, it was like New Orleans music layered. It was hard. So I had to stay up 2 days learning it. Then by the time the interview came, I was wiped out. I learned to play slide guitar listening to it 2 days because there was slide all over it. I didn't know he was that good. I have to admit.
Surprise!
So I showed up, and not only that, on my way to the audition, I came upon a car accident, and I had to save someone, and they were a mess, and I was destroyed. Like, she's all right now. But I watched a girl go right through a red light and get smashed by a truck, and there was no one around. Both cars were just laying there, and it was right off Route 18, no one around. In the afternoon, I ran over, the girl was in the car. Oh my God, I'm picking glass out of her. I told her, don't move. So that's the kind of night that was. And anyway, so they picked me, they liked me. So, and he told me don't learn slide any better because I was just good enough to be weird, you know? And so anyway, what did he ask? Oh, how did Bob make it?
How did Bob make it get into
So
this?
he liked us, and he got us gigs, and he wrote a lot of reviews on us, and then he picked us for this thing.
Okay.
Which
What's your
was
time
really
slot
great.
at this thing, do you know?
5 o'clock.
Oh, so you're right after Mike Daly and the Planets, who were just here.
Mike Daly, I remember when they were a band. They're still around.
Yeah, they were in the parking lot.
It's
when you
weird how
pulled
many
in.
people are still around. It's a long time ago, isn't it?
You know, it's almost as
The
if
80s.
it's almost as if there's three music scenes in, you know, the Jersey Shore area. There's like the old guard of Asbury Park, you know, the Springsteens, the South Sides, the Bobby Bandieras,
I'm
and
after that.
and then there's the
Whirling Dervishes. And all that.
yeah, but they were more like New Brunswick,
Yeah,
right?
all right. If you're talking Asbury, then that was our theme. We started at the same time as, if I remember, contemporaries from Asbury, because we were in the hot dog house, and there was 20 other bands in there that rented rooms.
Right.
We had Big Nurse. There was somebody who had a lot of deal, you know, played a lot. Nobody's Business, Big Nurse. You know, when I try to remember stuff and I'm on film, I can't. You probably remember them better than me. What other bands
I
did
wasn't.
I have?
I was not really into the Asbury music scene. I didn't become a part of that until around
Well,
2005.
it was weird because that's when music fractured. So in Trenton, you had the skinhead movement.
Oh, well,
Because I played at City Gardens and there was a skinhead band before.
now see City Gardens. Yeah, that was
It was weird.
actually,
you know?
and I'm still friendly with the man who did all the booking of the bands.
Who was
over there.
it?
Randy
Oh, I
now.
know
he went
Randy
by.
because I had a radio show myself and I needed to buy albums all the time and he worked with Bordentown Records.
At the record
The
collector. Yeah.
John.
Yeah, with John Schrabanis.
But it fractured those years because you had to be in a sub-genre all of a sudden. Like in the 70s, there was just two kinds, like regular and head music. Like radio and weird.
There's a term I haven't heard in a long time.
nobody-
Head music.
Yeah, nobody grouped everything into little genres. Like there was no stoner metal. Like there wasn't even.
What the heck is Americana?
Oh, like accordions and roots. You know, like New Orleans music, like blues in its original form.
That's Americana.
Yeah, like diners are part of it.
I'll put that with the other 40 explanations for Americana that
I got called shoegazer music by Bob.
By what?
He reviewed us last week, Bob Macon, and he goes, Brody is combining shoegazer with jam bands.
Shoegazer.
Like as if I'm in my laboratory going, I'll take 3 parts shoegazer. And hey, am I allowed to vape? It's just regular
Go right ahead. You
It's a
vape
trick.
all you want.
delish. And I had to look
That's why
it
you
up.
got cotton mouth.
No. I had to look it up. I had to look it up after the show. And it means guys who have a lot of pedals, so they're gazing down. I bought some,
shoegazer.
my pedal board broke, so I had to bring this giant one I had at the store that night. It had nothing to do with me. But he must have saw it and said, oh, pedal gazer. You know? Yeah, that's another subgenre. My voice is shot too. I lost my voice too. I'm only just getting it back. So I'm like Tom Waits now. I used to be like Freddie Mercury. I used to have an unstoppable range like Steve Winwood. This has been happening over 5 years.
Really?
Because you know, you get an illness, I'm 56. I had a scarring on my vocal cords from a virus or something. It turned out I actually had to get like cancer treatments. It was a rough couple of years.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. It was all right. I survived. But it's been rough, you know.
So, do you websites? Do you guys?
For music, no, I just started having a YouTube page.
Okay.
We're posting our live stuff on it. You wouldn't believe how
Well,
I
how
met
often
him.
do you guys gig?
Once a month, twice a month. Starting to be more now.
Where at?
The Saint a lot and
Okay.
shows like private shows and house shows and this Macon thing and other
A lot of
things.
Asbury Park.
Outside we did a thing. That's how I met him. My bass player didn't show up. I had pegged to play an outdoor Halloween parade thing that we were booked for, right? And my son's there on drums, I'm there, and he comes in to buy a bass. And I had seen him before, and he had sat in with me one time when I was playing acoustic at the store. Sorry to point this at you.
That's right.
And then I was like, how is he keeping up with me? Because I was in a weird mood trying out some Indian music. And all of a sudden there's the bass playing with him. And he knows what I'm doing, and I didn't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm
So-
like a jam guy, you know.
Yeah, but he's got ESP. I think about him and he shows up,
Yeah.
right?
See?
So listen to this. At the parade, it's coming, right? On Halloween, and I'd composed horror music for it, you know? And all of a sudden, in walks him, just as my bass player says he ain't making it. And I'm like, you're gonna play bass with us, okay? And we did an hour, right?
Yeah, it was about an hour, yeah, 45
That's the
minutes.
power of the universe.
And it sounds like an album
go,
to
yeah.
me, it does. There's changes that they're not normal, you know, and I did them anyway, and he was right there. Because he knows how to listen, and he prays 4 hours a night. So that's helpful, I think. He's very religious, and so is my son. My son couldn't be here tonight because he's in a church band now. So
Okay.
I think that on the devil and they're like, it's like good and evil almost. Like they're saving me, but like I'm getting him involved in stuff maybe that's not good for him. So it's pretty weird.
Yeah, so it balances out.
Hopefully, yeah, I mean, I have difficult moments, you know, but so does he, right?
We played a party. Like I told him, don't drink anything, you know, because
And I
everybody
drink.
there, the people there were questionable that hired us. You know, you never know. And so I'm like, don't drink that punch. But other people drunk it. You know, it's still weird. It's still weird. Music leads to weird places.
That it does. And you're gonna see Mike Brody in perhaps one of the weirdest places, the Wonder Bar. No.
You know, I've never played that.
Never played at the Wonder Bar? The Wonder Bar in Asbury Park, he's part of the 30th anniversary of the Making Waves column. Bob Macon. Mike Brody, thank you.
And Bob, however, I have to say he's a great guy. Him and you and myself have started a long time ago and still persevere.
and we're
through
still
all this.
here.
You know, and we have some of us need day jobs occasionally. It's hard. It's not.
I know.
It's not that glamorous. You know.
No, not at all.
So why do we do it? What are we looking for? You know?
That's a good question.
I think that we have to do it. Somebody has to advance culture.
We do, and we are, and we shall.
Yeah, 'cause-
And right now, I have to advance the program, so I have to thank you for coming in. Mike, thank you so much. Rob, it was nice meeting you. Mike Brody, secretguitars.com, right?
See,
There
I
you
wouldn't
go.
remember that.
We're going to see some of them coming up because you're going to do a song for us. What's it called?
I don't know yet. We don't know when we're playing, but either 50 miles an hour and the beautiful part we call another thing.
There you go.
It's one song.
And you're going to put some of your guitars on display here a little
Well, I'll
bit?
just play the weird one.
Okay. So stay tuned because he doesn't even know what's next. He fits in. We'll be right back. All right, well, welcome back. Told you it was an interesting show.
Oh, it's beyond interesting.
Wow. Well, you know what? Again, we had two musicians here with us this evening,
we
two
did.
different musicians, Mike Daly and the Planets, and Mike Brody. And
And it gives people a taste of what's going to happen at the Making Waves.
because anything can happen at the 30th anniversary of Making Waves concert.
Right.
Once again, which is March 31st at the Wonder Bar on Ocean Avenue in Asbury Park from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. Tickets are available at any of those sites, Making Waves on Facebook, any of the bands that are performing. Should be links, and it'll be a fun time. There's a lot of great art. Last week we had Colossal Street Jam here.
Yeah.
You know, there's some very quality musical acts that are going to be on the bill. Well, right now we're going to hear from Mike Brody, and here he comes. We'll see you next week when we find out.
What's next?
Good night.
Good night.
I got a real bad case. This thing is serious. I got the fear. Man, I got the fear. If you think everything's gonna be alright, you ain't put much research into it.